Moon Palace, Chapter 4. Whenever Yuan went out with his friends after work, Mei Ling was fine coming home by herself. However, knowing that he would not be coming home for the next few weeks, she was not fine anymore. There was a sense of overwhelming sensation the minute she stepped inside her house. Her heart was pounding, and her knees were trembling. She turned on all the lights in the house and checked all the doors, closets, and windows. Suddenly, a creaking noise came through the front door, and her hair stood up on the back of her neck. She looked through the peephole. It was just the wind moving the screen door. A relieved sigh came out of her breath. She went into the kitchen for a glass of water and sat down on a couch in the living room. Flipping the TV channels, she could not find anything good. Then the phone rang, and she spilled the glass of water on herself. "Damn it!" she yelped, and answered the phone. "Hello?" "It's me, Mei Ling. Why are you shouting?" Ignoring Yuan's question, she snapped. "Why did you wait so long to call me?" "We just got here," Yuan replied. For a few seconds, the line was silent. Then he asked, "So, how was your day?" "It's okay. I'm having a little bit of trouble adjusting." Rather than waiting for some kind of unlikely sympathy from him, she continued, "The new guy showed up." "Oh, good. How was he?" Lao Tam did not complain. As soon as she mentioned the chef's name, she felt a knot in her stomach. Good. He must like him." Mei Ling ignored his comment and said, "The new guy will be at our place tomorrow." "Monday? Why?" Lao Tam said he's going to teach him a few things. Right. I'm glad to hear that." Hearing his approval about the chef only annoyed her. She snapped again. "Where are you exactly?" "I'm in the bathroom of a hotel room. My mother's asleep. She was complaining about chest pain." "That's not good. Are you going to take her to a hospital?" "She didn't want to go, but when she wakes up, I will ask her again." After a few more minutes of them telling each other about their day, Mei Ling mentioned her current situation with her staff. Mei Ling asked, "So how did you find this kid?" "I found him at the produce warehouse. You know, Yin Yang's, Mrs. Wan's place." "So he's not a cook?" "No. I figure Lao Tam would rather have someone with no cooking experience than someone who does and have an attitude. The kid is very smart and has a good temperament. Mrs. Wang assured me that he would do well at our place. He supposedly learns fast." "Lao Tam mentioned that too," Mei Ling mumbled. "Oh, he told you that?" "No, I overheard it," she replied. Then sarcastically said, "I suppose it would be difficult if both cooks are assholes." Yuan chuckled. I know, but he is a good cook, so try not to upset him, okay?" "Upset him?" Mei Ling scoffed. "Yuan, why do you treat him like he's the boss?" "I don't treat him like a boss. It's just that our customers are used to his cooking. He cooks better than me now. Couldn't you tell that night at the party? He cooked most of the food. So we have to treat him like a god just because he cooks well?" "No," Yuan sighed. "Imagine if he leaves. Customers would know the food would taste different and would not come back." "Yeah, but it might taste better if it was cooked by someone who's much nicer." She was thinking about Wei Long, but then again, how would she know if he was nice just because he did not talk much? "When you find someone who's like that, you let me know," Yuan chuckled. "Anyway, I have to go. What time is it over there?" "It's nearly midnight." "Okay. Don't forget to lock all the windows and doors." "I know that," she retorted. All right, Yuan gently said. "My mother's at the door. I will call you tomorrow." Mei Ling put the phone back in its receiver and picked up pieces of the broken glass and threw them in the garbage can. She washed her hands, left the stove light on, and climbed up the stairs. She didn't fall asleep until 3 in the morning. Moon Palace, Chapter 5. Mei Ling woke up by the silence of the bedroom she shared with Yuan. There was no movement of her husband getting out of the bed. There was no sound of him farting, morning flushing, electric shaving, and the shower running. There was only an occasional creak from the bed as she was tossing and turning. Usually she would look at the curtain to catch the morning light. Then she would get up and do some chores around the house. Screw it, she thought. She was in no mood to get up and clean. In fact, she was in no mood to get up at all. She figured, since it was her day off, she might as well just lay in bed all day. Maybe Yuan being away was actually good for her. She could relax and enjoy some peace and quiet. At least, that would be something that Louisa, her best friend, would advise her. Mei Ling met Louisa during their senior year in high school. They shared the same locker and got to know each other very well. Mei Ling found a kindred spirit with Louisa. They had the same problem with their family moving around a lot. Both of their dads often changed jobs. Louisa was kind to Mei Ling. She helped Mei Ling with her English. Mei Ling immigrated to the States when she was 16 and could only speak a few words of English. By the time they graduated from high school, Mei Ling was able to carry on a decent conversation with Louisa. After graduation, they kept in touch. Louisa was Mei Ling's maid of honor when she married Yuan. After laying on the bed for another couple more hours, Mei Ling's neck and back began to sore. She forced herself to get up and take a shower. Then she put on some clothes, brushed her teeth, and went downstairs to watch TV. She looked at the clock and thought of Lao Tang, who by now was probably at the restaurant teaching Wei Lan how to cook. Hopefully Lao Tang would not give this young kid too much hard time that the kid would walk out. Just then her phone rang. She answered. Hello. Hi, single lady, said a cheerful female voice. Mei Ling chuckled. Hi, Louisa. What are you talking about? You're single now, living by yourself. Yeah, right, Mei Ling rolled her eyes. But still, you should appreciate the quietness and the peacefulness. I know I would. Mei Ling scanned the room. It's too quiet. Not if we're at the mall. Come on, let's go shopping, to a movie, and then to dinner. What about lunch? No lunch. I'm on a diet. You are always on a diet, Mei Ling chuckled. Easy for you to say, Louisa scoffed. Not everyone has a small bone structure and fast metabolism like yours. They both laughed. At the mall, Louisa dragged Mei Ling to every store that had a blowout sale. Louisa literally went through every rack of clothing that had a sale tag. After a while, Mei Ling got tired and just stood near the store's entrances. At one point, Louisa realized Mei Ling was not by her side. She looked around the place and spotted her. She said, What are you doing over there? Get over here, she waved at her friend. Look, she lifted up a hanger. It's a chiffon blouse with flower print in pink, your favorite color. Mei Ling smiled at Louisa and shook her head. She was in no mood to buy anything. She just wanted to be with her friend instead of being alone at home. You are making me feel bad for buying all by myself, said Louisa as she came out of a store carrying a handful of bags. Sorry, Mei Ling sheepishly said. Whatever, Louisa looked ahead. Hey, I'm smelling something good. Let's go to the food court for lunch. But I thought you said no. never mind. Louisa grabbed Mei Ling's arm. Let's go. Over a plate full of sushi roll, fries, and cold drinks, Mei Ling and her friend sat in a corner next to a large window panel where a ray of sunlight covered their table. Louisa finished all her sushi rolls except the last two pieces. She nitpicked the avocado from the roll with her chopsticks and put it in her mouth. While still chewing, she asked, "How was yesterday?" "It was okay," Mei Ling replied. Yuan hired a guy to substitute him. "Oh, really? What is he like?" "He's okay. Young, not very talkative, but very helpful." "Young?" Louisa's eyebrow raised. "How young?" "I don't know. Maybe early 20s. "So young. Where did he find him? At the post office?" "Post office? You know, mail order cook." Mei Ling chuckled. "Louisa, sometimes you're so quirky." Louisa shrugged and gave her friend a hint of an evil grin. "So, how are the kids?" Mei Ling pretended not to notice her friend's facial expression. She knew her friend has a tendency to say things without saying much. Suddenly she thought of Wei Lao. "Fine. The kids are doing well at school. But at home, that's another story." Louisa looked at Mei Ling, who was staring aimlessly. "Mei Ling?" No response. Louisa tapped her friend's hand. "Oh, sorry," Mei Ling replied. "Daydreaming?" Yes, I guess. I didn't sleep well last night." Mei Ling knew it was an excuse, despite the fact that it was partially true. Louisa nodded at her friend and gently said, "I know. It's not easy to be by yourself when you are not used to it. But take this opportunity to have some fun and relax." "I'll try." Mei Ling gave a hint of a smile and said, "I'm sorry. Please continue." "Well," Louisa raised her eyebrows and pursed her lips, "there's not much to tell." "I remember when they were just babies," Mei Ling recalled in bittersweet. "I loved holding them in my arms." Louisa sighed. "I know. I wish they stayed that way. But these days," Louisa shook her head, "they are little monsters. They fight with each other all the time over stupid things. They drive me crazy just about every day." Louisa shrugged. "Now you know why I love to shop." Mei Ling rested her chin on her palm and her elbow pinned near the edge of the table. She stared at the center of the food court for a moment and said, "I wonder what it would be like if I have kids." "I'd probably be babysitting them for you." "You probably would." "I've always wanted to ask, but was afraid to," said Louisa. "What is it?" Mei Ling replied. "How come you and Yuan haven't had any kids?" "I don't know." Mei Ling thought for a moment. "I suppose we have always been so focused on the business that we never discussed having them. Maybe it was because both of us were never ready." "You are never ready for having kids. It just happens." "You're probably right," Mei Ling agreed. In truth, she and Yuan had tried a few times over the years. "Do you think if you have children, your mother-in-law would have been nicer to you?" "Maybe, but I doubt it," Mei Ling said, while twirling a straw wrapper around her fingertips. "By the way, Yuan called me last night." "Oh, really? How are they doing?" "They're staying in a hotel in Beijing. He said his mother was complaining about a chest pain." Louisa pushed her plate away and said, "I'm sorry to hear that, but I have to say, your mother-in-law is really a bitch. Tell me something I don't know." "Did you hear what she said at the party about you?" "No." Even though she was whispering, I could still hear her. "She said, that the real person that's in charge is the cook, not you. You're just there to look good. Mei Ling shook her head.